right, everybody, welcome out to the Logroom Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, December the 3rd, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Hi. I don't know if I remember how to tie a tie.
Give it to me. I'll do it.
Here.
It'd be really good if I had one sitting here. If we planned this beforehand and I had one sitting here, I would have
Well, it was just sitting here on my desk for reasons. And it's funny because if you look in the business world, no one wears ties anymore. It's just a suit jacket over a button-down shirt, no tie. Oh, there we go. Not even thinking about it.
I was going to say, I'm watching you do it. You just didn't even think about it. And you did it. That's a single Windsor, Windsor.
That's a half Windsor. Half Windsor.
Half Windsor.
The full Windsors, if you go around twice.
You got to go around twice and then go through the second one and come down.
Yeah, so you got to do this way, then
through,
this way,
then go around all the way around.
Yep,
and then up,
and then up,
and then
down,
through it. And then, of course, your tie's only this big because.
Yes. And there we go. There's
the full Windsor, yeah.
Yeah, the full Windsor. The full Windsor usually, if you shape it properly, the knot is bigger than what's left of the tie.
Exactly.
So, but
exactly.
Anyway.
Full Windsor. It's like, you tie your full Windsor wrong, you actually had a full Nelson happening. So.
Yes, I see what you did there.
I see what I did there. So.
It's very Aussie of you.
Well, I try. Ozzy, not Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy and Harriet.
Right. Ozzy and Nelson, yes. Okay, well, we'll leave that alone. I'm done with that.
Yeah, I think it should be.
Hey, happy National Peppermint Latte Day.
Happy National Peppermint Latte.
I know you like your peppermint lattes. You get one at least a year, right?
Yep, I do. And I don't have one. I haven't done it yet, but in honor of National Peppermint Latte Day, I'm actually going to have a peppermint bark Ghirardelli.
Oh, I've got some like what are the round ones from Belgium? There's a couple of peppermint ones out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those things.
These are fantastic. These are good.
But yeah, I have a Hardywood peppermint stout, which is actually one of my favorite peppermint stouts.
It is really good. I have one down the fridge too.
So. I'm not a huge peppermint fan. Period.
These are really good. So good.
But I was gonna save that. And drinking Hardywood on today's show might be redundant.
This is very true.
But that's foreshadowing. The other day, what I mentioned is National Green Bean Casserole.
Happy National Green Bean Casserole Day to those who celebrate.
There's many of us that don't. I don't particularly like anything that the first thing is to open a can of soup.
Oh no! You see, I know that's the traditional way, but
that's the traditional way.
There's other ways to make it that are much better.
I'm aware, but when you get the green beans, the cream of mushroom soup, and the jerky fried potatoes on top, that's to those who love it. No offense, but I consider that kind of that's a trailer park side dish.
Fair enough.
My mom loved it, and she did live in a trailer. She had a beautiful double wide.
There you
go. But anyway, I've never been a fan of that, so I don't celebrate. But there it is, green bean casserole day.
There it is, green bean casserole day. Perfect. I'm thirsty.
I am too. I have my beer right here, ready to go.
I have mine right here,
and my glass. And my glass matches my shirt.
Very, very, very coordinated.
But we'll sort of we'll explain why I'm drinking out of a burial glass and wearing a burial shirt in a moment.
Yeah, I did not have any burial. I had one dissolver, but I'm saving that. It's a.
I hope you're saving. Is that one of those for like the big beer show?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
they do that stuff.
Exactly. So,
let's bring the guests on so we can.
Let's bring the guests on so we can drink. Let's do that, please. Welcome to the show, Mr. Don Tse, the Don of Beer. How are you, Don?
I am excellent. How are you?
Very good. How is Canada right now?
I live in Calgary. It was
that's in Canada, right?
Yes, I think it's Celsius. Our high yesterday was minus 13 degrees Celsius, but today's plus 5. So we went from, I'm guessing that's around 10 degrees Fahrenheit.
I'd say about 10 to about 30, 40. 40, yeah, 40.
That's a good swing right there.
We were 30. We got down to 24 last night. I think today we got up to 34. So you're actually warmer than we are.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Yesterday, not so much, but today you're warmer.
Yeah. We discussed when we had was it Aslan on the show? We were discussing temperature.
Yes, yeah. We were actually warmer that day than he was up in Vancouver.
Yeah,
Yep.
Or the other way around.
No. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. He was actually warmer. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But what we're saying is, Fahrenheit measures how water feels. Celsius measures how humans feel, and Kelvin measures how electrons feel. And I read that once. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense.
That was too serious for me in the beginning of the show without a beer in my hand.
Then why isn't there a beer in your hand? That's your own damn fault.
I mean, it is.
Don, do you have a beer in your hand yet?
Yes.
I do not. I am drinking chamomile tea with lemon.
We forgot. He has turned into a health nut. He's at the gym all the time. What are you lifting now, Don?
I've been very weak lately, actually, but I'm still in the middle of my work day. That's why I'm drinking.
Yeah, that is true. It's only 4:45 right now.
Yeah,
up there. So, gotcha. All right, Samurai, what are you drinking?
This is something you brought back from you about 15 years ago.
Is it an IPA?
Because he likes to save those. It's from Providence Brewing Company. It's called India Point. It is their porter.
Right.
India Point is like the very northern point on the Narragansett.
Yep.
It's
right. Kind of when I go to Providence, I stay the Hilton right there. That's where I stay.
Yeah.
Right next door to Narragansett.
Yep, right next to the Narragansett Brewery. That's recently opened. About a year and a half, 2 years now?
About 2 years now, yeah.
Yeah, about 2 years. So it's good to have Narragansett Brewing in Rhode Island again.
It's always good to have the brewery from the brewery that claims to be from Rhode Island actually exist in Rhode Island.
Yeah, it'd be like Iron City, brewing somewhere in like Virginia or something.
Right. Exactly. So how is it?
I'm waiting for the head to go down because it got a little active. I'm gonna have to clean the floor before I let the dog back in.
Infection?
I don't think so.
No, that the foam cap there was quite.
Yeah, it's very airy.
Yeah.
No, there's no one. No, I don't think there's any infection to it.
No infection?
No. Throwing a mild bit of cola, so there's some oxidation in here, definitely. Oxidization. I mean, it's only 6.4, so that's expected. I forget when this was canned though.
It couldn't have been canned any more recent than, and I think it was canned when I was actually there. I think he canned it like the day before, 2 days before. It was the beginning of January this year. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, it's almost a year old.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got the appropriate age markers on it, I think.
Gotcha.
So, but the roast is still there. The roast is still shining through around the cola, which is weird. It usually replaces. So, but I'll take it.
Well, that works.
What are you starting off with, John?
I am going to start off with one of my favorite beers from Vermont of all time. Not like this is the beer you need to get kind of thing. It's just like a what's the word I'm looking for? Standard, traditional kind of whatever. For this time of year, anyway, it's seasonal.
He was complaining about being thirsty. You think he would have had it poured already?
Yeah, I would have. Yeah. That would be Long Trail Hibernator.
Yes, that's yeah.
I'll put the right that it's Hibernator, John, not hibernation.
That's something else entirely. And it's funny because when you told me earlier that you were drinking a hibernation, I'm like, he's going to be drunk at the end of this show.
I wish you could still get that beer in New Jersey.
It's rare for you to drink a barley wine on a show that's not the big beer show.
Well, yeah. Well, Hibernator too. Well, the barrel aged one is big, but the Hibernator itself is actually an old ale. But it's a bigger old ale. So, I mean, along the lines of an English barley wine still, but
I'm super disappointed that they didn't name a beer ending with Ator and it's not a Doppelbock.
I agree with them.
That's bullshit.
You know what? I think you're right. I do agree with that.
Okay, we need a letter writing campaign here.
I think so. So I put it in proper glassware. There you go.
Yeah, because to match your hat.
Exactly.
Cheers, and cheers to you, Don. Don, how have you been? How's it going? What have you been up to?
I've been super busy this year, but good busy, so I'm happy.
Good busy is always good.
Yep.
Busy is good. Good busy is better. How's that?
Yeah.
So you did. You just got back from Asheville.
I just got back from Asheville. I also just got back from Amsterdam. Since Asheville, I've been to Amsterdam.
Wow.
Okay. I didn't see any pictures yet. Damn it. That's why I didn't.
Yeah. I'm behind.
Because we know he's been to Asheville, it's why I'm drinking out of a burial glass and wearing a burial shirt.
One of my favorite breweries.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which location you like better, the South Slope or we'll get into that, but just in general, the what's it Forestry Camp, right? Is the other location?
Yes.
Yeah.
But go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
Me?
Yeah, you were saying I thought you were going to elaborate about going to Amsterdam after you got back from Asheville.
Oh no, not at all. Just I went to there's a fairly famous brewery in Amsterdam, so that's why I was there visiting that. Also in a green bottle, but not a flip top green bottle.
Okay. Mm-hmm. We won't mention.
My hiney hurts.
Shut up.
It's
I see a big red.
I've been sitting on it all day. Not any other reason.
Green bottle, red star.
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, let's get back to Asheville because I'm really curious. What is it like down there? I mean, are they recovering? Or
so you definitely see a lot of trees down, and you see that they've cut away trees where they need to let traffic go by, but the remainder of the tree is still by the side of the road and things like that. So you do still see some of quite a bit of the natural damage.
Right.
I arrived. I think I arrived on a Wednesday, and I am told that they removed the boil water advisory just 2 days before I arrived. So
really? That's good news.
Yeah, it is good news. But people, of course, when hurricanes hit, it makes the national news and everybody's all up in arms about it. And then they quickly forget about it. And it was just on that, prior Monday that finally the boil water in a metropolitan area. It's incredible that it took that long. And I don't say that in any sort of condescending way. I mean, that's how bad it was.
Yeah, it wasn't for a lack of
exactly
response to the problem. It was for a lack of getting over that incredible hurdle that they had to remove that ban.
Yeah. So a number of the breweries still are not brewing. When you don't have water, you can't brew.
You're right.
So part of the reason I went was just to spread some tourism dollars, and I would say Asheville is open for business, and I would encourage anybody who is looking for a place to visit, go to Asheville. Do expect that there's going to be an inconvenience here and there, and you might visit your favorite brewery tap room, and maybe instead of 8 beers on, they only have 5 beers on. But
right.
If they're open and if they're still there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because as we've talked about it before, one of my favorites in Asheville actually got swept away, and that was Zillicoa because they were down by the water.
Loved Zillicoa. It was so good, and I felt so bad for to see the pictures of where the brewery was. Nothing.
It's gone.
So,
yeah, it's down the river somewhere.
I mean, they had to have found pieces of it here and there, right? I mean, imagine it just didn't disintegrate,
Yeah, I'm sure the tanks are
steel tanks usually don't, do that. So.
Unless they're full and they probably sink to the bottom.
That's true. But in any event, so they are recovering. They
are recovering. Well on their way.
Gotcha. Were you at any did you go by high wire down by where the bulk of it? I mean, everything, because the stuff on the South Slope, the breweries on the South Slope, obviously everybody sustained damage, but the breweries on the South Slope were nowhere near as devastated as the breweries along the water.
Yeah. So I did go to a brewery that I had not been to before called River Arts District. Brewing.
That's where the damage was.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So that was right in the heart of it.
Yeah.
I walked there, and as I walked along, I didn't really see it. It was getting dusk, but I didn't really see anything. I just had heard. I sat at the bar, and the bartender said that they still weren't brewing, but I didn't really see anything. So some of those breweries are they're coming back. At least they're opening. At least the tap room is open. At least they can receive some revenue and all that. So this is all good news. We're moving forward. Yeah,
that's great news. That's great news.
Yeah, because I think the most damage taken down there was by Wedge, was it not?
Wedge is in the middle of the River Arts District.
Yeah, and I think it's closest to the river.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I walked to Wedge as well, right after I went to River Arts District. Yeah.
Is anything happening there where people at least there and?
Yep, exactly. So I would say similar to River Arts District, where it looked fine. Not to diminish what they went through, it looked fine to me. They were serving beer. I don't know if they're brewing or not, but it looked fine, and they were serving beer. So
great. That's great to hear. It's great to hear. I know that New Belgium sustained some damage on the other side of the. What is it? That's the. Was it the French Broad River?
Yeah, the French Broad River.
French Broad River. Yeah.
I did not go. I was told that they were not open and that they were not brewing there, but I do not know that from first hand.
They are actually still closed. Just like Highwire is still closed. I think that's it. I think
Highwire down by the river, not Highwire on
not in South Slopes. Highwire.
On South Slopes, Highwire is open, as is Burial. I'm curious, was Forestry Camp open? Do you know? Burial?
Yes, I went to both locations. So,
okay. Yeah. Oh, great. That's awesome.
I quite like Burial, actually. So
Burial's great. Burial's great.
Most people do. I've really got to remember to mute when I. So people know I'm getting over a very bad chest cold. So this will help. I've had a few toddies.
He had a cold in his chest. So now you're drinking hot toddies. You try to put a hot in your chest.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. You balance it out.
And Don, thanks for the sympathy cough.
Is that what that was?
Yeah,
I thought I heard something, but there you go. Sorry. So
in brotherhood, thank you, Don.
I won't admit now then that it was actually just a little burp.
Yeah, don't admit it. Don't say that.
No,
I will not say that. No,
keep that to yourself.
Yeah, we'll edit that out.
There you go.
The bursting of the bubble of the tender moment.
Exactly. So, all right, sympathy burp. How's that? There you go. It was in sympathy regardless. Anyway, all right, we'll get back to Asheville in a minute because I got a couple questions about something else kind of relating to Asheville, but we'll get to that in a minute. But talk about Amsterdam. Of what you can talk about.
Amsterdam. Amsterdam was awesome. I hadn't been in about 15 years. I think more than 15 years.
Nice.
And I just love that town. And there's an official name for it, but it's their Festival of Lights as they head into Christmas and did a canal tour at night. And it's an amazing town. Anybody who's been to Amsterdam knows how great it is. Anybody who hasn't been to Amsterdam needs to go.
I am going in August for the first time. So
first time. Okay, perfect.
That'll be the first time we're doing Amsterdam, Bruges, Brussels, and then we are probably going to rent a car while we're in Brussels and drive into Luxembourg. And because you got to have a car if you're going to go to West Vleteren. Do want to hit there, and then we're probably going to because we're going to land in Amsterdam, take the train down to Belgium, stay in Belgium, and then once we're done with the rental car, get that back, and then take the train over into Western Germany and fly home from Germany.
There you go.
Is the plan? We're planning on Köln and
Love
Düsseldorf.
it.
Need some coach.
I love both of those. Anhalt, yeah,
Anhalt. No, we're not Brian. Not Brian.
No, you don't need that. You get enough of that here. You don't need that.
Oh, we got plenty of that here. So that'll be a lot of fun. So that's the August trip.
Nice. Sounds like
I may have to pick your brain on Amsterdam then, Don.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Well, you got until August. So
yeah.
You got a while.
Well, I've still gotta pick what's her name's brain about the Austin trip. So
Debbie.
Debbie. So that's still coming up.
Very nice, very nice.
What's your favorite craft brewery in Amsterdam there, Don?
I only went to one on this trip. Prael, I think. Prael.
Prael, okay.
It was fine.
But in the past, you've obviously been, in the past you've been.
Yeah. Also in Amsterdam is a brewery called Tij, T'Ij.
Okay.
I've actually heard of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had anything, but I've heard of it.
Yeah. Nearby in a town called Haarlem, it's 10 minutes away.
Haarlem with 2 A's.
Haarlem with 2 A's.
Yes.
There's a brewery called I don't know if they say Jopen, but it's spelled Jopen with a J.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite good, but I've never been.
Okay.
I've just had some of their beers.
The thing is, and I call them craft breweries. They're not really craft breweries. They're just breweries.
They're just breweries.
Yes.
Craft is a thing here.
It's a thing here. Yeah, it's not a worldwide thing. So
no.
Actually, it kind of is even because in Germany they do call it craft beer.
Do they?
For the breweries that are not the German standard beers, the ones that are doing the IPAs and stuff like that, they do
the breweries that don't adhere to Reinheitsgebot. That's the ones they call.
Yeah. Well, even like some of the ones that do both, like Higgins does both, Giesinger does both, but Giesinger, they're trying to be the next tent at Oktoberfest, but they also do craft beer.
Right.
So it's interesting. Anyway.
Cool. Very nice. On that note, I got a question for both of you. Your opinions. Now, I have my opinion. I want your opinions. I was reading a post in one of the big groups, one of the craft beer community or Beer Drinkers United or one of those groups, and somebody had posted something regarding. You know what? It might have even been a more local group, but either way, somebody had posted something about. They were talking about Bourbon County, right? And they're talking about the fact that it's not craft beer because Anheuser-Busch owns it. Well, that's that whole debate. That's not the question I'm asking you.
Okay. Did you know my opinion on it?
Yeah. No. That's not the question I'm asking you. The question I'm asking you is regarding what denotes craft beer, because everybody starts coming up with, well, Sam Adams isn't craft beer because they make so much of it. I don't look at it that way. Craft beer is how it's made, not how much of it is made. It's a microbrewery or a macrobrewery. Sam Adams is indeed a macrobrewery.
Mm-hmm. But they're a macro craft.
Ish. They're close. They keep moving the numbers. They're a macrobrewery from standards 10 years ago or more. It's a little bit.
Yeah, but their entire annual production is less than Anheuser-Busch's spillage.
Right. So I'm not comparing them to Anheuser-Busch by any means, but in comparison to, your average craft brewery,
sure,
there's certainly more towards the macro end of things, but it's not a much. So it's micro and macro. Craft beer is irrelevant to who brews it. It's how it's brewed.
I agree, and independence and ownership is also irrelevant to craft.
Right.
That's why we have terms like independent and internet. It's craft is a different concept, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm like-minded. That's exactly how I feel. It's
100% agree. John knows how I feel about Bourbon County. I won't spend my money on Bourbon County. It is still craft beer because it is crafted. It's owned by Anheuser-Busch, but that beer is a crafted beer. It is still done in the original brewery by people who really do care about beer, regardless of where they get their paycheck from. So I do think that's craft beer. So I think, John, you're 100%. It's how it's made. It's the intent of how it's made.
Right. Yeah. It's the process of the actual production of the beer, not how much of it is produced.
Right.
That's all I want to say. So I got a couple comments. Rod J. Beer.
Hey, Rod.
Cheers, fellas. Hey, Rod. Cheers, Rod.
Cheers.
And he said, still consider Sam Craft when looking at their lineup and specialty beers they can release at their breweries. 100%, Rod.
Absolutely.
100%. Yeah, like I said, craft is, I would never really consider something that actually was brewed in an Anheuser-Busch facility by Anheuser-Busch in, how big are the brew houses? 400 barrels, 500 barrels, whatever, so some of the bigger ones, but whatever.
I'll even put forward the flip side too. Like I've been to, and not so much recently, but in the earlier days of craft beer, I went to. In the earlier days of small and independent craft, all small and independent breweries, I went to some breweries that were, brewing on extract kits, and so they're small and they're independent. That's not craft beer.
That's not craft beer. No, 100%. You're 100% right. And then, but yeah, and like I was saying, but they could, Sam Adams could still make a craft beer. They're never going to, right? Especially at that scale. Maybe on their 100 barrel pilot system. but yeah, they would never do that. But yeah, that's my point. Craft is denotes the beer, not the production. So anyway, so there you go. Rod also said maybe time for a macro craft title for some breweries.
What I said earlier, right? That macro craft.
Yeah, exactly. And he said, "Hope you all had a good Thanksgiving." Yes, we did. Hope you did too, Rod. And
I'm just coming out of my turkey coma.
And if you're following the BA line, BCBS would not be craft. You're yeah, but yes, I understand what you're saying. But is it being brewed by? It's not being brewed by Anheuser-Busch. It's being brewed by Goose Island in Chicago. It's just being distributed by. Now, granted, they have the keys to a lot bigger scale of how they can produce and what they can produce because of the relationship with Bud. They would never have gotten to what they're at right now if it wasn't for Bud, but it's still brewed by them. So that's where this whole article that I was reading was going.
That's where the line blurs. Like Elysian's Punkachino, I still consider that a craft beer.
Yeah,
they're owned by.
I will say Goose Island Matilda is not nearly as good as it used to be.
No, I do agree with you there.
I haven't had it in.
I had Matilda
since the acquisition.
I haven't had it in probably about a year and a half, maybe two. Recently though, like in there, and yeah, what Matilda was, or any of the ladies,
Sophie and all,
Sophie and all of them, back, what it was even 6 years ago. It's a little different. They're cutting some corners there. Whether it's the production and getting the beer out quicker, so it's not sitting in barrels or not sitting on that yeast too long. I don't know what it is. I'm guessing, obviously, but it's something's different. You're absolutely right.
One of the good things about being a consumer, though, is that I don't have to care. I don't have to care why. I have money. I can spend it on Matilda or not spend it on Matilda.
Sure.
And I don't want to spend it on Matilda anymore. Or I could spend it on Bourbon County or not spend it. And, Bourbon County is a little bit rich for my blood, but, I mean, it's a delicious beer. If I had the money, I would spend my money on it.
Yeah, exactly. To finish up Rajay's comments, he said, Sam Adams does have some small batch craft beers, but you have to be at the brewery to see those. I'll talk about one of them in a little bit. But yeah, you're absolutely right on those. One of my favorite Sam Adams beers you really can only get at the brewery, or at least they might have changed that since I had it there. But yeah, it was one of the ones that were brewery only. It's the ownership that kicked them out by the Brewers Association, and Yuengling is still considered craft as well. Yes, it is. Yuengling is still considered craft.
That's where I can see both sides of it. I think Yuengling might still be considered craft for a couple of reasons. I get it. Yeah, it's the oldest brewery.
Right.
It's beloved. Mm-hmm. But the size of some of the breweries that are making Yuengling, especially outside of Pennsylvania.
Right. Yeah, the facility down in Florida is huge.
Yeah, is massive. Yeah. So
the second facility they have a few miles away from the original facility is pretty big. Not as big as the one in Florida, but it's pretty big.
So I think, Yuengling itself, I don't really consider it a craft beer, but some of the, the stuff you get at the brewery.
Again, this is what I'm talking about, though. I never really considered it a craft beer per se, because I didn't look at it as one. But if the Brewers Association is considering it a craft brewery, because they're not using rice, they're not using fillers, they're not using all of that, right? They're actually making beer. They're using corn in a lot of their beer. Of course, we know this, right? But they're using ingredients that are acceptable to make craft beer. It's just a larger scale, and that's where the line blurs. do we call them a craft brewery? I say, well, yeah, you kind of gotta, right? Because it's craft beer per se, right?
Does any other industry care?
No.
Like, I mean, when I go see a movie, I enjoy the movie. Do I care if it's made by an independent producer? I mean, some people love independent films.
Some people are really
and actually do
only
care.
watch indies. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't. I'll watch an indie. I'll watch a Hollywood.
I like good movies. That's what I care about.
It's got to be good. That's my point. Yeah. I want something good.
But to Don's earlier point, drink what you like.
Yeah.
If you like it, buy it, drink it.
Right.
What do you care what it's called?
Right. Yeah. Well, that's just it. And it's usually, I mean, Yuengling almost every year comes in. Sam Adams is usually number one on production on the.
I think Yuengling first and then Sam Adams.
It's Yuengling and Sam Adams. They flipped up a couple of times, but maybe that's. I know I've seen Sam in the top spot a couple of times. It might not have been recently, but.
The question: are we going to get to the point where we're going to have such a strict definition of craft beer that America will have its own Reinheitsgebot?
Doubt it seriously.
That's a little crazy to think.
It has to be organic lactose.
Oh boy, a few breweries going out of business.
Exactly. All right, so you did go on another trip as well about a month and a half ago, if I recall, and that would have been to the New York, New Jersey area.
Yes.
John sounds like a stalker all of a sudden.
Well, only if
No. You can't show that. Well, it's International Say No to Selfies.
Oh, I forgot it is. You're right. Happy International Say No to Selfies Day.
This is such a tough day for John because he is a selfie.
Well, it's not really just a selfie. It's a picture of me and Don, and look, and a tiny little sliver of John Hall.
Do you have your phone held out like this?
No. It's all he wanted. He made sure he positioned himself.
When you took the picture,
I was like this.
That's a goddamn selfie.
It was a selfie. Yeah.
Say no to selfies.
Here's a better picture though. That's not a selfie.
Oh yes.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, that is Don and Mr. Carton. Can't say his first name on the show.
You can say it once.
Yeah. It's okay. It's Don and Augie. Making a what has been called dubbed a. Funny, I said dubbed an O-double-lata. It's a 50-50 mix of O-dub and a pina colada.
Oh, so, I don't remember doing that.
You don't remember doing it?
Wow, man.
Augie was holding the spoon. That's the second time I said it.
Yeah, you can.
Those are my hands.
Those are your hands. Yeah. He was holding the spoon so you could float the pina colada on top of the IPA.
Don, do you remember the cheeseburger?
I do remember the cheeseburger.
Okay, good. Then you're okay because that is one of the greatest cheeseburgers on the planet. Is the cheeseburger at Barnacle Bill's? Yeah. Oh, and I'll say it again. Thanks for the invite.
Well, hey, they were doing a Steal This Beer, and John called me up and reminded me that he was there with Don and said stop by, so I went by with beer. We had beer, and we went to that was the brewery, and we went over to Barnacle Bill's. I was leaving, and Mr. Carton said, "Where the hell are you going?" I said, "I'm going back to the brewery." He says, "No, you're not. We're going to Barnacle Bill's."
There you go.
Okay.
We were utilizing an expense account.
That's what we were doing. Yeah,
it's always a good thing.
So, I think the main reason is because he wanted to ride there. So 4 of us went in my car, but
that's usually his impetus. Yes, you can get a lot of booze and food out of him if you drive.
Pretty much, it's true. We went Don. What am I right? We weren't walked in the door for 3 seconds. He was handing us both beers.
Correct.
Yeah. As we walked here.
Oh, can I brag for a second?
Go ahead.
When was that? Was Friday?
Saturday.
No, Saturday. Saturday, I checked in my 1,000th boat beer.
Wow.
On Untapped. Yeah.
Number 1,000. We did it at the brewery too. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to pull up the selfie because it wasn't a selfie. We had Matt Patensky take the pictures.
It wasn't a selfie.
I think I've had 3 boats.
No, I've had over 1,000. Obviously, over 1,000 because I didn't check them all in. But
there's the picture of us having the boat in carton on Saturday.
Yep.
There you go. So anyway,
in my tie-dyed Ouija board 27A brewery shirt.
And I see the connection there to carton.
Yes, there is a connection there.
Exactly. Anyway, all right. So after this whole entire craziness in New Jersey, you went over to New York for a while. What did? How was that?
It was good. What brewers? I went to Other Half.
Okay.
I went to Evil Twin over on the Brooklyn side.
Okay.
I went to what's the one in Hudson Yards, Bronx.
Okay.
That might be it. That might be the three that I went to.
Gotcha.
Yeah, all very good. Like the last time I was in New York City, I think it was like almost 10 years ago, and the beer scene has changed quite a lot. It was whenever Hurricane Sandy was. I have this thing about visiting cities and hurricanes.
Yeah, apparently.
Sandy was 12 years ago. So.
12 years ago was when I was last in New York City.
Wow.
So yeah, like Other Half didn't exist at the time. Bronx didn't exist at the time.
No, they didn't. No, you're right. None of them. I think the only brewery really in the city in 2012 was probably Chelsea.
Yeah.
And
Chelsea and
Harvest.
Heartland.
That's
Heartland. And Kelly Taylor was brewing for Heartland at the time, and brewing with him at Heartland at the time was Chris Kuzme. Back then.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yep. So
now Manhattan only has the one brewery, Torch and Crown.
Yep. Yeah. Well, no, they have the Bronx is in Hudson Yards.
Oh. There was another.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They opened in Hudson Yards. I forgot about that.
I went to an outlet of Thalia, Talea.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they were quite good. I had never heard of them. And, their beer was quite good.
The one by Prospect Park?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, I've been to that one.
While you were over there, because that's right. I mean, there's a bunch of breweries right around there near Prospect Park. I think Gowanus right there. Wild East is over there. Strong Rope has their original location right there.
Yep.
And Threes Brewing is right there as well.
And there's a Finback.
And a Finback's over there as well. Yeah, right. Yeah, they have a location there too.
Almost like kind of angled off of Strong Rope across the street.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Only a matter of blocks from probably like 8 or 10, but that whole area where they are is only about like 6 or 8, maybe 10 blocks away from Prospect Park. In Gowanus right there. So
in 12 years, I'll go back.
There you go.
At all those breweries.
There we go.
Absolutely.
And there'll be hopefully a bunch more. We'll see.
Absolutely.
We just got to get the younger generations to drink more beer.
Oh yeah, stop drinking seltzers and RTDs and
why are we arguing about craft when people are drinking seltzers and RTDs?
I know. Yeah, stop fighting within our own ranks.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Beer is beer.
Beer is beer. Exactly. Don, I know you got to go. You're going to bail out because you got work you got to catch up on. But I want to ask you before you did, I wanted to jump back to Asheville really quick. Did you get down to Sierra Nevada?
I did. Yes.
You did. Did you get Sally Drippins?
Yes. In fact, that was the main.
That was the main reason to go down.
So I did have Sally Drippins. My first time ever. They've only been doing it for 3 or 4 years.
I've never had it.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I think they said they started doing it before COVID, so they've been doing it at least 4 years, maybe 5 years.
I think it was the year before COVID, so I think it's 5. I think this might be the 6th year they did it.
Maybe. Yeah.
I've been literally wanting to get down there, and I just this time of year is just insane. I just can't go down there. You know.
So some general observations, and for those who don't know, Sally Drippins, when they take Celebrator out of the tank, they leave the dry hop bags in the fermenter overnight. Just as a practical matter, they don't have the manpower to empty them till the next day. These are enormous. These are whatever 4 stories.
Not tiny little Muslim bags.
These are enormous. So people have to go up to the top. They've got the root that's by the top. I mean, outside the roof of the building, 4 stories up. They got to take the bottom of the fermenter off. These cylindrical conical fermenters, they can actually unbolt the bottom, and they got to take these bolts off. All of which is a side point is to say that they leave the hop bags in the fermenter overnight. A little bit drips out. A little bit of Celebrator continues to drip out. They collect that from all of the batches of Celebration that they make, and that they batch it together, and that becomes Sally Drippins. So what was interesting to me, because I'm a nerd, so I do these sorts of things. I got a Celebration and I got a Sally Drippins, and I had them side by side. And of course, the ABV is the same because it's the exact same beer. It doesn't actually ferment anymore. It's just a much more intensely hopped version of Celebration. Celebration, for those who don't know, they change the hops every year, so you can tell those differences much more in a much more obvious way with the Sally Drippins. Mm-hmm. But the thing that blew me away, that I can't get a good answer on, that I've asked multiple people, is the Sally Drippings was lighter in color, noticeably lighter in color. Now explain that one to me.
Noticeably lighter.
Noticeably lighter in color.
Wow. Huh.
That is
interesting.
Quite interesting. Unless hops are kind of they're not a clarifying agent.
No. Well, it wouldn't be clarifying, wouldn't matter the color. Yeah. SRM would be the same.
Well, and then, as Sierra Nevada has obviously access to centrifuges and stuff. So I was thinking like maybe more yeast matter comes out, clinging to the hops, but the Celebration would be centrifuged anyways. So there we go. That's the mystery I will leave your.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe Celebration is centrifuged, and the Sally Drippins is just they're not going to run that amount through a centrifuge.
Oh, I see. So it's got yeast particulate in it, so it's reflecting
yeast particulate and hop particulate, so it reflects a little more light.
But was it hazy or hazier?
I wouldn't say it was hazy. No, I mean it wasn't crystal clear, but I wouldn't say it was hazy.
Okay. Interesting.
I mean, that could aid to it.
Yeah. Anybody who has further thoughts on this, my email address is don@thedawnofbeer.com.
There you go.
We will post that up because
inquiring minds need to know.
We'll put that on a group and we'll have them send you any other thoughts. Send them to Don and we'll work this.
Tell me I'm wrong. That's what I love to get into arguments. All right, gentlemen. All right. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you so much, Tom.
You got it, Don. Thanks for coming on. I'll talk to you soon. I'll talk to you before the holiday gets here. But hopefully you had a great Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks,
guys. Thanks, Don.
Cheers. Bye. Well, on that note, I'm going to open my second beer.
I'm going to open my second beer too. And while you open your second beer, I'll put up Rod's most recent comment. He said, "I'm assuming the I before the LOL was not intentional." But LOL, I've pretty much skipped pumpkin beers and moved to Christmas one.
I think that's a small case L. I think he doubled the L while he
doubled the L. I got you. Fair enough. Is that a party foul, kind of like going to the Christmas Story triple dog dare without hitting the double first? Love it. There you go,
Rod. It is not a party foul. I would do the same damn thing if John didn't make me do a pumpkin show every fucking year. Just saying.
Okay, get it straight. This John doesn't make you do the pumpkin show. This John asks you nicely to do the pumpkin show because the other John wants to do the pumpkin show.
But you allow it.
I know.
Okay.
All right. So what is that one you're having there, sir?
Well, it's out of my Lord of the Rings map class. As you know, I love this glass.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my newest glass. I will be premiering another new glass.
Is that right?
Yeah. This one is from New Belgium, and it's been a while since I bought something from New Belgium.
Me too.
So I was happy to see this come out because, we've talked on the show before, some of those OG craft breweries, we just, we won't learn that lesson from Anchor. We've got to still support them. So when I saw something from New Belgium that I'd never seen before,
right,
was that I got to get this and I got to try this. Holy fuck. Oh, this is good.
Is it? Now, did you buy a single bottle? Did you have to buy a 4-pack?
No, I've got a 6-pack of it.
A 6-pack? A
6-pack, 12-ounce bottles.
Interesting.
It's called Oak Spire. It is a bourbon barrel ale. This is a collaboration with Four Roses.
Wow, that may be why it's that good. Because Four Roses. Well, I mean,
I love Four Roses.
I love Four Roses too, and everybody always dismisses. I mean, the small batch and the single barrel, they're amazing. The regular Four Roses is decent bourbon.
It is.
It really is.
It really is.
It's just because of the price point. Don't let it fool you. It's a good bourbon.
Oh,
is it as good as a single batch or even the small batch. No, it's not. But it's good in a pinch, especially a mixer. If you're doing old fashions, buy a bottle of Four Roses. Go for it.
And I've been to that distillery. I love Four Roses, especially the single barrel.
Yeah.
This tastes like bourbon, as if bourbon were beer, not just bourbon barrel aged.
If bourbon were beer, this is what it would be.
Mm-hmm.
And Rod is saying, any difference on this year's Oakspire versus last year's?
I didn't have last year's. I didn't see last year's. I'm not sure that last year's made it into New Jersey. If it did, it didn't go. It didn't make it into my usual haunts. And John knows one of my usual haunts. So if I didn't see it in that usual haunt, it probably.
Do you say your usual haunt, like Stan Musial?
Stan Musial, yes. No, my usual haunt.
I was gonna say.
Well, it's funny because I could have sworn earlier you said Muslim bag rather than Muslim bag. I'm like,
no,
I think
I put an N there. Yeah,
I think
it was Muslim bag.
It sounded like Muslim, but okay.
It wasn't a Muslim bag.
You can only put halal hops in the bag.
But halal only, yes. Exactly.
Anyway, no, this is really, and I wish I'd had last year to be able to answer you, Rod, to tell you if there's any difference between them. The only thing I would like a little more body out of it, but I don't think that's the point of the beer. The point of the beer is to really deliver this bourbon flavor and to have like a thinner, almost as you can see the color here, we're looking at like an amber.
Yep.
We're looking at an amber ale for the most part. And I think it's a conscious decision to have it at this body to let that bourbon come through. I'm really enjoying this. It's like I got a glass of bourbon.
I got to tell you something, folks. For those of you that don't watch all that often or listen all that often, ask the people that do, because other than when we have a guest on asking Dave questions about the beer he's drinking, he never talks this much about a beer that he's drinking.
It's rare.
It's rare. So he must like it.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy this. This is really good.
Roger said, I do believe it was at Roger. I'm sure he meant Wilco.
Yeah, probably.
Because I don't know the store Roger Wilson. I'll go if there is one. But Roger Wilco last year in Jersey. Damn autocorrect. That's what that is.
That's what that is.
Yeah, Roger Wilco in New Jersey last year when I got it. Could be mistaken. It may very well have been. And Rod, I mean, it's the same in every.
Well, Roger Wilco's down south, right?
Yeah. Roger Wilco's down south. Yeah, Wilco, damn autocorrect. Exactly. They're in South Jersey, Camden,
so there's
County, Gloucester County, and across. There used to be one in Ventnor City. There's not anymore. But it's South Jersey.
Still south. Yeah, so they have not made it all the way up here.
No, yeah, it might have just been in a South Jersey distro thing. But I've definitely seen it before quite often in New Jersey. Just I don't look for it. I haven't had it in it's probably been like at least 4 or 5 years, if not 6 years since I've had Oakspire. But it was good then. But it was good then. I would the way you're reacting to it, I got to go find a sixer of it.
I'm enjoying it. My question is, I found the place you sent me on Saturday.
Oh, okay, all right. So Zach has it.
Yeah, go see Zach.
I'll go. I got to see him later the week. I'll stop up.
Yeah, go see Zach. Now, my question is it always done with Four Roses, or do they rotate the distilleries?
I couldn't tell you. I don't remember what it was when I had it.
Rod, this question for Rod then. Rod,
there you go. Rod also just said, the one in South Jersey has a lot of people from Philly that hit it up. There you go. Go ahead, Rod. This question's for Rod. Go ahead.
Yeah, was last year's was it with Four Roses? Is it always with Four Roses? Do they rotate the distilleries? Because that would be really cool if they did.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's almost Bourbon County-esque, right? Not to bring Goose Island or AB back into this conversation, but still, it's almost Bourbon County-esque to rotate the distilleries that they're using barrels for. Kind of cool.
I would say I'd go more with 50-50-esque if you want to leave Bourbon County out of it.
True enough. Whatchamacallit? He goes, and Doug Smith just commented, what's the place in Boonton Dave lives. I mean,
he's not
Freeman
wrong.
loves.
No, he's not
Well,
wrong.
you do live there. That is true. But yeah, you live there a lot more often when you lived right there too. But that's besides.
It actually was on my commute. All I had to do was jump off 287 and get there, and that's this place. I always get the official name of the place wrong.
It's Liquor Outlet Wine and Spirits.
Yeah, I just call it Boot and Liquor Outlet.
Yeah, I mean that's fine.
Many people just refer to it as Blow, BLO.
In the name of the business. There's no.
There's no suck. There's no suck. That's why we.
No. There's no Boonton. It's just in Boonton. It's Liquor Outlet Wine and Spirits.
Yeah, there's no Boonton's not in the name whatsoever.
On my invoices, it says Liquor Outlet Wine and Spirits.
Well, it's Liquor Outlet Wine Cellars on Google, by the way.
Wine cellars. There you go.
And the thing about this place is that their beer selection.
And he did say loves. There you go.
The beer selection's fantastic. Fantastic bourbon selection. Their spirits are really good. They've really got a good wine selection. Mm-hmm. But the best part about the place is you can't beat their prices on pretty much anything. True. If there's something I'm having trouble finding, I make the trip out to Boonton.
And they have it.
And they usually have it. If they don't have it, I know I can't get it for the most part. It's rare.
This is true. And Rod J just said, Four Roses recently, the last few years, they had used Knob Creek as well. I do remember the Knob Creek.
Okay.
Now that you say that, I do remember the Knob Creek. I don't know. I just don't know when that was. It's got to be at least 5 years since I've had it. It could be 6. And he said they also had previously done an Oak Spire Old Fashioned version years ago. Never had that. That's interesting.
That really sounds interesting.
Interesting. Very interesting. Cool. My beer. My second beer that I'm half done with already.
Yeah. What you got there, Jim?
I went for one of the. You had it already. I brought back your beers and one of our switches or whatever. It's Treehouse Enduring Belief. It's the rye lager.
Such a good beer.
Yeah, it's very, very, very tasty. Nice, great rye notes. It's a nice lager.
It drinks
very easy.
It drinks beautifully light.
It drinks beautifully
for
light.
Rye.
It's almost velvety light. It's almost velvety, but not thick velvet, like light but velvety. Like the mouthfeel is fantastic.
Like you're just brushing your hand across it, and oh look, it's dark gray. It's light gray. It's dark gray. It's light gray.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the
wax on, wax off.
Mouthfeel in this for a lager, you really don't refer to mouthfeel that often with a lager.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, it's a talking point with this. It's really good, and the rye really adds a nice level to it.
Yeah, it's really
anyway.
Good.
There you go. I'm good.
And
I love the beer. I'm not talking about it because I don't like it. I do. We're just moving things along.
But that beer's not half gone, by the way.
Yeah, no, actually, because this is a smaller glass. So I had to drink a bunch of it to get the rest of it in, and I still drank a little more. So probably not. It's probably a third gone already.
Okay. Gotcha.
Anyway, cool. All right. I wanted to bring up something. Well, first of all, are
you going to burp? Are you going to burp? Because that's usually what people.
I got to bring up something, right? Well, first of all, before I even get there, did you notice the shirt? Because it is the season of me wearing Christmas-related shirts.
Yes.
Right? Thanksgiving last week for the holiday beer show.
Yeah, this is Trading Spaces.
Trading Places. Trading Spaces is on Home Improvement.
Oh yeah, that's the one with Ty Willingham,
whatever his name is. Yeah, his wife and all that. Right?
Yeah, and all those people.
Right, but this is Duke and Duke Commodities Brokers from Trading Places, one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time.
Your brother's having a heart attack. Fuck him. There is one line from that I quote all the time in just because we all have those lines from movies that we can put into everyday conversation constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of the last things.
$1. There you go.
No, I don't do. Hold on. If you wanted to do that, I could have gone. Because I have one right here.
Yeah, I actually got it in my pocket. There you go. Yeah, $1. There you go.
No, it's actually one.
I got to put it back in my pocket.
That's one of the last things said in the movie. Is when like someone gives me a choice between two things. Why can't we have both?
Why can't we have? Why not? Why not? Lobster and crab for everybody.
Yep, there we go.
Looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis.
But you think about it, there's a lot of movies where you use, a line from that in regular conversation all the time.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many movies that have something along those lines. There's somebody from Ghostbusters that you can use.
Oh, yeah, no. I mean, honestly, all of those movies. And I don't mean, anybody that's our age knows what we're talking about. We don't have to explain it to them, right? Anybody that's younger listening or watching, all right? We're not trying to be old here by any means. When you get there, you'll understand things of that nature. But this particular topic, movies then were really, really...
They're filled with these lines.
Yeah, they were different. Not that movies today aren't good. There's a lot of good movies out there today. I'll give you that.
Well, because there's so many movies you couldn't make now because
yes,
100%. They would be considered offensive,
in bad taste, all of that, right?
No Mel Brooks movie could ever be made now.
Hell no, especially the joke all the time, Blazing Saddles, right? Blazing Saddles will be showed on Fox 5 tonight from 8 o'clock to 8:05.
Yes. Because they have to.
Because they had to edit out an hour and 45 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, it's just amazing. One of the lines, like from Ghostbusters, like my buddy and I'd be hiking, and we'd see this trail going up. He goes, "I wonder where that trail goes." I go, "It goes up." Favorite. He knew exactly. That's from Ghostbusters.
My favorite line from Ghostbusters. Listen, you smell something?
Or when someone has said, "I've got a problem," and we go, "What did you do, Ray?
What did you do, Ray?
What did you do?
What did you do, Ray?"
So many lines from that movie that I really need to go to the city and visit because I know that the firehouse in the movie, I know they've got it decorated.
It's on the corner of Varick Street, and it's like 2 blocks below the tunnel.
Yeah, it's not that far from Torch and Crown, by the way.
No, not at all. No,
not at all.
It's right in the corner of Varick Street.
So yeah, got to get in there and do that. It's also,
you go down Varick, you'll see it. It's right. Yeah. You go past the Holland Tunnel, about 2 blocks, straight on the left hand side.
Yeah. So one of my favorites for movie quote mining, and so I've mentioned Meathead on the show a few times. When we worked together during meetings, having us, there's that phrase. We all have that friend that that coworker that we should probably not be allowed to sit next to in important meetings.
There you go.
Yeah, that was Jason, Meathead. But in these meetings, we got to a point. We did do the meow, by the way. We did the Super Troopers thing once, and it's funny because finally one of the managers was like, "Did you just say meow?" And someone else just lost it because they knew what we were doing. But we would do movie quotes in it all the time, and finally it got caught on that's what we were doing. We were answering every question with a movie quote, everything that came up.
Right.
Like someone, and here's another one I've used from Ghostbusters, where so we want to do this, we want to do this. Dave, what do you think? I love this plan. I'm proud to be a part of it.
I'm proud to be a part of it.
and only like 2 people at the table got the joke.
But it's Miller time.
Eventually, everyone realized what we're doing. And at one point, for no reason whatsoever, the director, the person who runs the building, goes, "I don't know about that, but tonight we bowl." And we all just kind of looked at her. We're like, "We're not going bowling tonight." She's like, "Oh, come on. I'm trying to participate in the fun. What are you doing?" She goes, "It's a movie quote." Like, from what movie? She's like, "Grease 2. Like, yeah, see, the whole point is other people have to have seen the movie.
See, I will admit, I knew what that was.
That's pretty sad. Anyway, but yeah, no, we've done things like that where we've done whole meetings, just everything replied to movie quotes. I've also done the whole meeting on September 19th talking like a pirate.
Yes, you've done the whole show on September 19th talking like a pirate.
Yes. So,
but as far as this movie goes, Trading Places.
Yeah.
So many lines from this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So many. But the one that I use literally all year long. From literally all year long. With specific people. I don't just do it randomly, right? And of course, I do it. I specifically do it all day on, heading up to New Year's and New Year's Day, and that's Merry New Year. And that is a shirt that I will wear that I wear every year on the Big Beer Show. So there you go.
There we go. It's coming up.
There will not be a beer shirt on me until probably the Smoke Beer Show, or the week before that.
January.
Yeah, shit. Anyway, yeah. So, all right. So to finish up with, oh wait, we got a couple comments here. Let me throw these up really quick. Rajay said Mel Brooks did do History of the World Part 2 last year, but hadn't watched it still. You know what? I haven't
seen it either, and I'm scared to. I think I'll be disappointed.
No, you know what? It doesn't matter too. It doesn't matter because for me, I never let anything detract from what I like.
It's still Mel's humor.
It's still Mel's humor. He's older. What is he? 130 now? I mean, God bless him.
He's basically turning into yogurt.
Right. Right.
I mean, the character and
the
breakfast,
the product.
Yeah.
But in any event, I do. You're right. We should. You know what, Rod? We should do a watch party podcast. Right. We're gonna watch it together on a podcast and.
But the thing is, we need to make it somehow or another. Figure out to make a drinking game out of it.
Oh hell yeah! Well, I mean, that just kind of goes with the territory there.
Oh, of course.
Rod also said at one of his old jobs, they had a cafeteria and their crew would always be laughing. And HR told our manager that they would love to sit with us because of the fun we had. They had no idea we were playing.
Fuck, marry, kill. Love it. Well, my favorite thing that I used to do in the cafeteria, one of the guys that I work with had been a Marine. And, once a Marine, always a Marine.
Just ask Jim.
Yeah. And God bless him, Semper Fi and all that. But what I would do to him was just so cruel. Because if he was being a bit of a jerk, because he could be a bit of a jerk, because he's now a state senator, I would just look and go, Marine, first rule of order. He would jump up and he'd get to about 12 words into it before he'd look at me, stop and go, fuck you. Stop doing that.
He'd start giving it to you and then realize that you didn't need.
Oh, no, you missed the part that where he'd stand up and go to attention first and then start giving the first rule of order.
And then halfway through, I'd be like, wait a minute, what the hell am I doing?
Just so ingrained. It was fun. That was fun.
See, what's funny is if you did that with Jim, and no disrespect to him, but if you did it with Jim would do the same thing. He'd realize about halfway through why he shouldn't be doing it, but he would still finish it and then tell you to go back.
And then kick your ass.
So, Rod also said, "Who's been putting their cools on my cools on my rug?"
A good one.
Exactly. Oh, that's it. I love Trading Places. Such good. Get out. That was great. Great movie. And Doug Smith just said, "Where the hell is it?"
He's correct.
Up.
He's correct.
Bet you can't quote from Die Hard 2, god awful sequel. You know what? You know what? I could probably, if I sit here for a minute, I could quote a couple things from Die Hard 2, but there are no lines that are quotable like that should be quotable from Die Hard 2. I will tell you this: Die Hard with a Vengeance, nowhere near as good as Die Hard 1, the first one.
No, what is? And it is a Christmas music. I agree. I disagree with the movie star. He's absolutely wrong. It's a Christmas movie.
Oh hell yeah, absolutely. Is hell yeah right to be said as a Christmas movie? Oh heck yeah, there you go.
No, you can say hell yeah.
But in any event, Die Hard with a Vengeance, not Christmas, like middle of summer, New York City. Yeah. It was a decent movie. It wasn't a great, fantastic movie. It was a decent movie. For me, it was of all the whole Die Hard series, because they did like 5 of them, I think.
Really?
It was, yeah. It was probably the second best one. Okay. And to be quite honest with you, of the 5 of them, because I have watched them all, I'm going to tell you this right now. Die Hard 2 was the third best. Yeah.
Well, that's sad.
That says something for 4 and 5. So,
well, speaking of third, here's my third. I opened the Southern Tier Chestnut Praline.
Yes, I was going to have that tonight too. I went a little calmer because I got a little work to do after we're done. But
and I poured it into my newest glass. It is Cthulhu, so I'm sure that'll excite Doug because him and I both Lovecraft fans because we're both. He's from Rhode Island, but I'm actually rereading a lot of Lovecraft. I'm rereading Dream Quest of Unknown Cat at the moment.
Right.
Now, Chestnut Praline, when you first pour this, the smell that comes off this thing is absolutely amazing. The chestnuts and the vanilla in this, and it smells sweet, and it is sweet.
It is sweet,
but it's not as sweet as I thought it would be. So that's something. But I do enjoy the beer. It is a good beer.
Sweet as sugar.
Sweet as sugar.
That's another. That's another Eddie Murphy vehicle. Just watched it the other day. It was actually on one of the channels.
Which one was that?
Harlem Nights.
Harlem Nights. Okay.
I love that movie. I think it's great.
I think my second favorite Eddie Murphy movie is Coming to America, though.
Oh, by far, yeah. No, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, my favorite Eddie Murphy movie is Trading Places. My second favorite movie is 100% Coming to America.
Yeah.
And I probably will tell you, Beverly Hills Cop 1 is probably
my third.
And then Harlem Nights is my fourth. And then Beverly Hills Cop 2, and then I'm done.
And I think Beverly Hills Cop 1.
Actually, no, I got it. You know what? I got it before after Beverly Hill, after Harlem Nights. Actually, before Harlem Nights, I got to put in 48 Hours.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that one. But I think in Beverly Hills Cop, I love Beverly Hills Cop. My favorite scene in Beverly Hills Cop is when Bronson Pinchot goes off.
Oh yeah,
and the thing is,
get the fuck out of here.
He ad-libbed the whole damn.
That was
thing.
all ad-lib. That was all that whole.
It was
ad-lib.
Absolutely.
So Eddie Murphy was smiling. If you watch that scene, Eddie Murphy
he's cracking up.
Yeah, that was completely ad-lib.
He was amazing.
A lot of stuff that Eddie did in that movie was ad-lib.
Oh yeah, and it's just that one scene, Bronson Pinchot stole the scene away from Eddie. Hard thing to do.
I'll tell you this really quick. Do you know who was originally supposed to do that movie? Supposed to be Axel Foley in the movie?
No.
Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, that would have ruined that fucking movie.
It wasn't supposed to be a comedy. It was supposed to be an action movie.
I'm so glad they came to their senses and got Eddie Murphy to do that.
And I don't know who the producer was or whatever, kind of saw the possibilities of a comedy action movie and knew that it wasn't going to work with Sly, and actually got him to do Cobra instead. So he went and did Cobra.
That's a win-win.
And they brought Eddie Murphy in. Judge Reinhold was cast in that movie before Eddie Murphy was.
Nice.
Because Judge Reinhold was going to work with Sylvester Stallone.
That would have been a disaster.
It wouldn't have been anywhere near what the movie was. And don't get me wrong, I love Sylvester Stallone movies. I'm a huge Rocky fan, except for 5, which everybody feels that way. So, Rocky 5 should have never been made.
And John Ashton.
Oh yeah,
he played the great straight guy for that movie. I think he's an underappreciated actor.
John Ashton's definitely an underappreciated actor, 100%. Just to catch up on this, Rod J just said, Die Hard 2, you'd be surprised what I make in a month. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Just like Iwo Jima! That was another quote from that movie.
Okay.
But in any event, he said Harlem made so many funny lines. Oh, yeah, please. I could sit here and rattle them up. Here's the thing, though. Not that we can't curse on this, but I really don't want to rattle off a few of those lines.
No, those hidden. It gets a little blue.
A little blue?
Okay, raunchy might be the right word.
Blue aspires to be that color. Right? And then he said, technically, Raw and Delirious are movies, too. Very true. Delirious I saw on HBO. Raw I saw in the theater.
Nice.
Yeah. So,
hey Norton.
Hey Norton, when I bent over, you know the rest.
Everyone knows the rest.
There you go. And then he said,
"No, thank you. I take the 0."
Exactly. Those would be top, but then get into Trading Places, 48 Hours, Beverly Hills Cop, Harlem Nights, and Life. But for families, the first Dr. Dolittle. There you go.
Oh, that was a fun movie.
I'll tell you the story. Back in, it was probably 97 or 98, somewhere in there. And I'm driving. I had a friend of mine had a recording studio in Englewood, right? We're just taking the family out.
I've been there. I think they finally put the fire out.
There you go. Family. We just taken the family out, and we saw, like, literally the night before this. I had to go this Saturday, but Friday night we went and we saw The Nutty Professor. Okay, the first Nutty Professor.
Oh, the first one.
First Nutty Professor. Okay,
that's with the guy with the telephones.
No, not the first one. I didn't take the family out when I was -10.
You said the first one.
The first Eddie Murphy Nutty Professor. He's done
Nutty Professor 2. Okay. I thought, okay.
The original remake of Jerry Lewis's.
Gotcha. I thought you took them out.
You knew what I meant. You just wanted to call me out. That's all you wanted it.
Shut over. I never do that.
Never. Anyway, so on Saturday we took a ride. We went and got lunch, and then we had to stop by my buddy's studio.
Hey, sorry.
Yeah. So we stopped by my buddy's studio. I ran in there a couple minutes. We got back in the car, and I looked at the kids, and I'm like, I turn around and I go, "You want to take a ride past the Nutty Professor's house?" Because he literally lived like 3 minutes away from the studio in Englewood, right? Up on Bubble Hill, and they're like, "Yeah, let's go." So I back out of the driveway and going up the block. I make the turn. I'm going up the block, and it's a brick walled out in front kind of thing.
You really are building that stalker reputation, by the way.
No.
We started with earlier. Yeah.
Oh wait, we had just seen Nutty Professor. I wouldn't have taken them by there.
The fact that you knew where he lived makes you stalker.
Oh, everybody knew where he lived in Bergen County. Please, we all knew this.
I don't know.
Anyway, so we shut up.
Anyway, creeping me out a little bit.
So we drove past, and you see that's where Nutty Professor lives. Okay, great. Boom. Okay, we're gonna go back. We're gonna get dinner, whatever. I go up the block. I turn around to come back. As I'm coming back down the block,
garbage. Please tell me he's taking the garbage out.
Stop.
That'd be awesome.
The gates are opening up, and out drives Eddie Murphy in a black Mercedes, and he's got the window down and his arm out, and he's just cruising like this. And my son looks at me and goes, "Daddy, it's the Nutty Professor! It's the Nutty Professor!" I was like, we didn't say anything to him. I just passed him, like, right. It was pretty funny. I mean, I couldn't have planned that any better. That was really good. So
stalker.
I am not a stalker. I just know where famous people live in New Jersey.
Yeah, and drive by their houses.
I
go see their movie and go drive
by
their
way,
houses.
This was almost 30 years ago. Okay. So, all right. Anyway. And he I don't mean Eddie Murphy, I mean my son. He probably doesn't even remember that because he lives in Dallas right now and he's going to be 36. So he probably doesn't even remember it. Anyway. He said, "Do you consider Lethal Weapon as a Christmas movie? It tends to get skipped over, I think, with many, but the first is at Christmas." You're right. The first Lethal Weapon is at Christmas.
However, I don't consider it a Christmas movie. And I think the reason I consider Die Hard a Christmas movie and this one not is the MacGuffin of Die Hard is the fact that it's a Christmas party. The whole thing that the reason that they've chosen this day is because Christmas Eve is because it's a Christmas party, right. And everyone's guards are going to be down and all that. So Christmas actually plays a very large role in it. Whereas in Lethal Weapon, it's very easy to forget that Christmas is a part of it.
Right.
It's just I think a minor backdrop to the movie. So I don't actually consider that one a Christmas movie.
You're 100% right. You hit the nail on the head. It's a minor backdrop to the movie. There's a couple of scenes with some decorations and stuff like that, but it's really not even talked about throughout the whole movie.
No,
right? It really isn't. I mean, other than the fact that in the one scene with Amanda Hunsinger's father, that Danny Glover was in the war in Nam with, he's drinking eggnog when they're in the meeting, right? Just subtleties here and there. That's it, right? And at the end, obviously, there was, I forget what song it was. There was a Christmas song played at the end as they're walking in the house afterwards, when Danny Glover invites Mel Gibson in the house, and they walk in, and he brings the dog in afterwards, and they go in. There's a Christmas song played. I forget which one it was, but really, that's very, very subtle references to Christmas. So you hit the nail on the head. The whole entire premise of Die Hard was the fact that it was a Christmas party, and he was going out there for the Christmas party and for Christmas, and to reconnect with his wife for the holidays, and it was all about that. But Lethal Weapon, it was a side thing. So I get it, but that's probably why it's overlooked. Yeah. Right. Roger said Riggs is struggling with the holiday due to his wife being gone as well, and Murtaugh gives him his second life. You're right. I mean, it's maybe it's not as insignificant as I made it out to be, but it's still not a common thread throughout the whole movie.
No, I don't think. But
not to mention, both movies are in California. But the fact of the matter is, Die Hard is in a building with Christmas decorations, so it can be anywhere, right? Whereas Lethal Weapon, most of the scenes are outside, and they're in swimming pools, and they're going up the hills, and it's sunny and everything else. So it doesn't even seem like Christmas. Granted, it seems like Christmas to people who live in California because that is to them Christmas, but not to any of us. So anybody listening to this on the California Let's Talk Craft Beer group in California, I apologize. That's your Christmas. Have at it. But it's not to me.
It's what I thought. I just looked it up, and it's what I thought it was. It was Jingle Bell Rock.
Was it Jingle Bell?
Yeah, it's Jingle Bell Rock. It's those are coming in.
Yeah. And Rod says, I count it as one for me. Have at it. Have at it. I don't discount what you're saying. And in fact, to be quite honest with you, after this conversation, I probably will from now on.
Yeah.
Or
at least watch it.
At least think about it or whatever. Yeah, exactly. You know what I love about those movies too? Any channel, whether it's the Sundance Channel or any of the other cable channels that actually put them on, they do a marathon. They put on Lethal Weapon 1, 2, 3, 4. So I watch 1, I watch 2, I do some things while 3 is on, and then I go back and I watch 4. But so my favorites would be 1, 2, 4, 3. That would be my favorite of the Lethal Weapons. And do you know they're actually making another one? They're making a Lethal Weapon 5.
Interesting. These guys are ancient. Favorite line from the first Lethal Weapon?
Favorite lines? I'm getting too old for this shit. That's the number one line, right?
That's the number one line. My favorite actually is, what are you doing? Trying to see if I'm standing on plastic.
Hey, what are you doing? Trying to see if I'm standing on plastic.
Yeah. That was a good one. But then it's also diplomatic community.
That's Lethal Weapon 2, by the way.
Is it 2?
It's 2, yeah.
Oh, it's 2. That's right. I liked 2 a lot.
2 was good. 2 was good. Yeah.
Revoked.
It's just been revoked. There you go.
It does the neck crack.
Exactly.
And then they play.
This was a good one. He says, "You want to jump? Let's jump. Come on, let's jump." That guy's crazy. Get him away from me.
Oh God, he was awesome. That was an awesome scene.
That was great. Oh man. He said, What about Small Soldiers? They were Christmas gifts like the Gremlins. That's true.
Yeah, both of them.
That's true. I consider them a Christmas movie. I do. I have
definitely Gremlins.
If I had to like list a bunch, eventually I would get to Small Soldiers. Gremlins definitely I would get to. It's a Christmas. It's not a Christmas movie. It's a movie at Christmas, like Die Hard, like Lethal Weapon. Yeah. Die Hard. I probably would have never, ever, ever said that Die Hard is a Christmas movie unless somebody asked me. Like, if nobody ever started that shit about Die Hard, I probably would have never considered it a Christmas movie.
You're probably right. I agree.
Like, if it was never spoken about, I probably would never consider a Christmas movie. Now, I actually have an ornament that we hang on our tree every year of John McClane crawling through the
The ductwork.
The ductwork. So, yeah. 100% is Christmas food. There you go. Just got to take a picture, the obligatory picture of my third beer here.
Because John's on his third. I didn't take pictures. I didn't take pictures of mine. Am I failing? They're not selfies, so you can have at that.
This is true. Hold on.
Don't do it. Just say no. He's got to open the goddamn mouth like he's catching fucking flies.
All right. So, by the way, just so you're aware, happy. Did we do this before?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Say No to Selfies Day. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we done did that.
We done did that. There you go. My third beer. I'll throw it up here.
You gonna throw? Is it that bad?
It's bad. I'm going to throw it up. No, it's not bad at all. I love it. I went old school. I always get a six.
So you're second old school.
No, I always get a six of these for Thanksgiving.
Your first one was Hibernator.
It's a tradition. I always get a six of these for Thanksgiving, and it's Sam Adams Winter Lager.
Excuse me.
There you go. That was your sympathy burp for Don?
Yes.
There you go.
In Brotherhood.
In Brotherhood, there you go.
Brotherhood Belch.
And this is always a good beer. And I got a quick story about this. Back in the day of 381, back in the day of me, bar manager John.
The day of the Guitars and the Sharks.
Exactly.
You had to have been there to know.
Had been there to know what I'm talking about. But regardless of that, I always had from once Oktoberfest kicked. I had a Sam Adams line, right? So it was whenever there wasn't a seasonal, Boston Lager was on it, but I had a Sam Adams line. So Oktoberfest usually went on. It's beginning of September, it went on, and whenever
cherry wheat in summer.
I got one keg of cherry wheat in summer. That was it. I went back. I had one keg, and then I had a couple of summer because they didn't have a lot of cherry wheat. They had a shit ton of summer ale. So
there's a reason for that.
Yeah. But in any event, mid-October, late October, they ran out of Oktoberfest. So probably my last order in October, I got Winter Lager, and I usually tapped it right after that last keg of Oktoberfest ran out, which was usually right around Halloween, give or take a couple of days either way. Right.
So you're saying you tapped that?
I tapped that. Right. So I put Winter Lager on. Now, get this: 1 year. This is a specific year. I went through 6 half barrels of Winter Lager in 4 weeks.
Damn.
Okay. I went to order my 7. Now it's the end of the first week in December. Okay. So it's not too many days after right now. Okay.
But years ago.
Years ago.
For our time traveler friends.
Right. It's probably 2017. Okay. And the end of the first week in December, I went to order another keg of Winter Lager because I'm out, and they told me they're out. There's no more Winter Lager. The spring seasonal is out. Would you like some Cold Snap? Okay. Now it is December 6th. It's fall, and their spring seasonal is available.
Creep
isn't the word for it. That's disgusting.
This is a vault. This is a dash.
Guess what? I didn't have at the bar for almost 2 months.
A Sam Adams line.
Sam Adams line. That is correct.
Ay caramba.
Exactly.
Winter
Lager is a good beer.
Speaking of, real quick, for those people looking at Joe Granite here who likes their Modelo, who like their cervezas. Mm-hmm. Looks like we're going to have some sanctions or more higher duties and taxes on product from Mexico.
Looks that way.
Yeah, you might want to stock up now before the prices triple.
Yeah. Get your cases now. And it's the flavor's not going to change. Just get them now. Stick them in the closet.
The liquor store downstairs here. The amount of cases of Modelo I see walking out of there, on people's shoulders, I expect that to kind of diminish a little bit.
I don't know if those apply. I may be wrong. I'm not even saying I don't know, so I'm not wrong by any means. But I don't know if it applies to.
It's all imports.
It's all imports, yeah. But how much is it going to change the price of Modelo to the point where the distribution, and my point is this, right? Because it has to come into the distributor before it goes out to the consumer.
Yep.
All right. So I don't, how much is it going to change the price from production to distribution, from the distribution to retail, and then from retail to consumer? How much is that? I mean, there will be some of that money eaten, right? So, bottom line.
Wait a second. Distributors don't eat cost.
No.
You know this damn well.
We're talking pennies here, okay? Right. So
there's not going to be pennies.
No,
it's going to go up. But the thing is,
we'll see.
Where I thought you were going to go with this is that the distributors probably have a very large stock in their warehouse.
Oh hell yeah, no.
So it may not have a huge impact immediately.
Depends on how they react. It depends on how they react to it, because we know what gas prices.
Yeah, it'd be like with the toilet paper.
No, it's not even the toilet paper.
Toilet paper prices didn't go up.
We know what gas prices, right? When gas prices go up, when gas prices go up, if the gas station hasn't gotten a delivery and isn't getting a delivery for 2 weeks,
right,
they're still raising the price of their gas.
Yep.
But when gas prices come down, they don't lower them until they get that next delivery.
Rod's running.
Rod's running?
Yep.
All right. And he said, so let's put it up. Oh, hold on. First he said, underrated Christmas movie. Ref. Absolutely.
It's a great movie. Dennis is a genius.
He is. And have a great night show. Have a great night and show, fellas. Got to run, but always appreciate it. Rod, I'm going to reach out to you tomorrow, and we'll set up a time to talk, because I do have to have that conversation with you, and then we'll set up a show for January. I'll reach out to you during the day tomorrow, and then just get back to me whenever you can. All right. Thanks for commenting in. It's always great, and love to hear the comments. Enjoy. There you go.
Yeah.
And Doug Smith just said, "Good thing American craft brewers are doing excellent lagers. I only drink Modelo Negra on draft at a Mexican restaurant. It's a solid brand, but not one that I drink a lot of." You know what? Modelo Negra.
I love it. I love it.
I love Modelo Negra. It's actually it's a Vienna lager. It really is.
I'm really quite curious as to why the font changed when he did MX.
What do you mean?
Well, look at it. When he puts in MX for Mexico, the font changes.
It's that's called. He's on his phone. That's called an emoji.
Is that what it's a? It doesn't look like an emoji. That's weird. Anyway, sorry. It's gonna be a little confused.
Doing excellent Mexican lagers. Well, hey, one of my favorite Mexican American craft beer brewery brewed Mexican lagers is one of your favorite as well, Hacienda.
Who does that?
Bunker Brewing up in Maine.
Oh yes, no, that's a good one. Yes, do like that one. That's good. Yeah,
Hacienda is very good. So you're absolutely right, though. Modelo Negra is fantastic. It's
very good.
For what it is. There's much better Vienna lagers out there, trust me. But for that, if I'm in a Mexican restaurant and he says it's the Mexican flag, Dave.
But when it comes across as an MX rather than the flag, so it's kind of weird.
Well, that's because you don't have the emojis on your screen.
Oh, you saw the emojis.
I saw the emoji.
Oh, I saw an MX in a different font rather than the Mexican flag.
No, that's why you don't actually get the emoji.
Put it back up again. Put it back up again. I'll take a picture of it and send it to you as to what it looks like when I see it.
Just hold it up on the screen. Put it right to that thing.
Oh, I can do that. I think I can do that. Can I do that?
Mm-hmm.
That's a John thing. I don't know if I want to do a John thing. So, yeah.
I believe you.
So this is, if we can get this to resolve, that's how I see it.
MX Lagers. Yep, there you go.
That's what I was talking about.
You're right.
That's so I'm not sure how many people see it that way. You saw it the way he saw it.
Mm-hmm. Any chance of anybody wants to look at that? It's just after 1 hour and 29 minutes. It's in there, but in any event, if I'm in a Mexican restaurant and they have Modelo Negra, I'm getting that. If they don't have Modelo Negra, I'm getting a margarita
or Modelo Especial. I don't mind that.
Or sangria. I'll get sangria too.
I don't mind a Especial.
Especial's okay. In a pinch, if I really, really want a beer, I'll have a Especial. You know, Joe's not wrong. Modelo. I mean, what's weird is that Modelo makes Corona, and Corona sucks.
It does. Corona's and Corona Light's even worse because Corona Light has no flavor whatsoever.
Right. Here's the thing. I equate it this way. Modelo Negra is just as Vienna Lager, but Modelo is because emojis are now banned. Modelo Especial.
Most of his other emojis do come through though. That one didn't. I don't know why.
Because you don't have that emoji. That's why. So it fills it in. There's on websites.
Do I have to buy the emoji?
Download them. They have to download. Sometimes they download automatically, but to your computer, you don't have that emoji, so it comes up. Here's the thing. This is my point. There's
a thing and a point. Okay.
In websites, there's alt.
Is your thing on point?
There's alt text. They call it alt text. So if you don't see the picture, if your browser can't show you the image,
that part I understand.
That's what this is. So you can't see that emoji, so that MX pops up.
MX.
So for you said Mexican lagers, so you were able to figure out what it meant. It's the alt text. That's all that is.
There we go.
Anyway, but I don't even know where the hell I was going. Anyway, but no, Modelo Especial is Modelo Especial to Corona. For me, the analogy I use is like Michelob, which they don't make anymore, to Budweiser. All right, because Michelob, and while I can't stand AB or anything they do or their practices and so forth and so on, Michelob, the actual original Michelob, not Mich Ultra, that's garbage, it's water.
Yeah,
Michelob, which again hasn't been made in years, was actually a decent beer.
Am I misremembering this? Michelob they're the ones that did the Bock.
The Bock. Michelob was a Bock beer. Yeah. Michelob did a Bock. Regular Michelob wasn't a Bock beer. It was a lager. It was a lager.
But Michelob did a Bock at one point, which was actually pretty damn good.
Michelob Bock was really good. And
it was actually more of a Bock than Shiner Bock.
Oh hell yes.
Shiner Bock's not a fucking Bock.
Oh, yes.
I've got to really make sure to not say that when I'm in Austin and San Antonio.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to
get in trouble while I'm there.
So, anyway, but to go back, the other thing I was going to say, I really wanted to get into a little bit more of the conversation with Don about Celebration. It's me. Hey, you know what I mean? I want to talk about.
You like Celebration?
A little bit. So,
interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, I've had Celebration from the source down in Mills River
outside of Asheville in
North Carolina. Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate that. Anyway, fantastic beer. I love it.
Geography is strong with this one.
Thank you. Geography is strong with this one. I just wasn't thinking right. Anyway, all right. I think you think it's time for our top three. What do you think?
Our what now?
Our top three list.
Oh, we have a new segment? Oh, that's the old segment.
That's the old segment. No, we're not doing hot takes tonight.
Oh.
No. We'll do a hot.
God. Now I want hotcakes again. Stop doing that.
You want hot cakes again? We'll do a hot takes next week.
I'm just kidding.
So we'll definitely do a hot takes. I already have hot takes prepared.
We're going to do hot takes with Trevor.
We could do a Pittsburgh hot takes.
I didn't have hot cakes in Pittsburgh.
Not hot cakes, hot takes.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's do our top three list tonight.
What is it?
Top three Virginia breweries. Top three Virginia breweries. Excuse me. So
the hard thing with that is that there's a massive concentration of fantastic breweries in Richmond. So trying to think outside of Richmond was the challenge here. But I'm going to give a couple of honorable mentions. And this one, everyone loves this brewery, and I used to love this brewery, but they went milkshake, and that's the answer. My favorite part about the answer is that it's behind Mekong, and Mekong is one of the most surprising, greatest craft beer bars in the country. So many great things you can get there, and the Vietnamese food there is fantastic.
Fair enough.
So they're kind of a honorable mention for me. I'm going to start off with another honorable mention for me is Ardent. Ardent is right behind ZZQ.
Yes, it is.
So
your number 3 is Ardent?
No, that's my second honorable mention.
Oh, okay.
My number 3 is Williamsburg Ale Works. The reason for it is if you get their normal 6-packs and their everyday beers, it wouldn't make my list. But when you look at their one-offs and the seasonals that they do, their barrel program, they really put out some fantastic beers in those programs.
Fair enough.
So I love them for that and some of the great stuff they do there. Number 2 is The Veil. I really don't have to talk them up. If anybody knows anything about Virginia beer, they know The Veil. I know I've got like at least 4 bottles in Brian's garage right now that I've got to go down there and pick up of some of their stouts. They make great IPAs. They make great stouts. Fantastic stuff.
Exactly.
My number 1 is Strange Ways. I just love the variety that they put out, the fact that they can nail so many damn styles. When you get into Richmond, when I was there's not a huge lager game. They're really, they're very much into the IPA and the stout game.
Mm-hmm.
But Strange Ways hitting the notes on every style. And just the decor of the place in what's that section where all the breweries are, John? Do you remember? Scott's something, right?
Oh, damn it. Because you asked me. That's why I'm not.
Yeah. You'd probably remember it if I didn't bring it up.
It's Scott's district. Scott's something.
Edition.
Scott's Edition. There you go.
Scott's Edition. But their tap room is just so quirky and so interestingly decorated.
Yep.
Really, really enjoyed drinking Strange Ways. That's got to be my number 1 brewery in Virginia.
Well, there you go.
Oh, I forgot about the one in Shenandoah.
Did you?
Woodstock.
Another one.
This is just an honorable mention. Woodstock.
A third honorable mention.
The thing about Woodstock Brewing is I've been to 3 different Woodstock brewings.
Okay.
There's the one in Virginia. There is the one up in the Catskills.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's one in New Hampshire. Don't ever go to the one in New Hampshire.
No.
The beer there is really not good. But the other 2, quite good.
That'll work.
Oh, Doug Smith told us Scott's Landing.
No, it's Scott's Edition.
Sorry.
It is. You're right. I'll put his up in a minute. I'll put all of his comments up in a minute. Cool. And what was that again? I'm sorry. Woodstock.
Mm-hmm.
Woodstock.
Like the little yellow bird from the Peanuts.
Yep. Anyway,
I like this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
That was my favorite.
Anyway, okay.
Those were the twins.
Exactly. So, all right. My honorable mention is Triple Crossing.
Never got the Triple Crossing. Never had any of their stuff.
Triple Crossing, 2 locations, one downtown, one off to the a ways to the
north and right.
North and right. No. South and
oh
right.
Yeah. South and right.
Yeah, right. But and that the downtown location is the original location. I actually like that a little better. It's cooler. I always like the original spaces. Whatchamacallit. And then but they make decent beer. I do like what they do. My number 3 is going to be Aslan.
I thought about Aslan, but the reason I left it off my list is I've been to 2 different Aslans.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been to one in Virginia.
I've been to one. I've been to only 2 Aslans, one in Virginia and the one in Pittsburgh that they opened up.
I've been to the one in Pittsburgh and the one in DC.
There you go. Well,
not too far from Church Key, actually.
And technically, the one in DC is right. I've actually been by there, never went in, never had a beer there. Was there?
It's a cool place to hang. It's a very cool place.
Oh, it's cool.
Cool place to hang.
I wanted to get to Church Key. If I'm near Church Key, I'm going to Church Key. That's what.
I pre-game Church Key at Aslan.
Right, but in any event, Aslan's they put out really good, solid.
They really do. Yeah.
My number 2, Rich Brow.
I didn't make it to Rich Brow. I haven't had anything by them.
Amazing
and that's my
beer.
loss.
They have really good. They did a bourbon barrel aged vanilla stout, and we brought that we brought that back, and not me and Jess, me and Matt and Jim. We brought that back
on your trip to CBC.
On the way to CBC, but they make a lot of really good beer. A small place. Downtown. It's actually diagonally across the street and down the block from the Edgar Allan Poe Museum in Richmond,
which is now closed on account of rabies.
On account of what?
Rabies.
Rabies? Is it? Really?
There was an urban legend that he died of rabies.
Oh, I got you.
And closed on account of rabies is the title of that CD I told you about that has all.
Oh, right, yeah. I know what you mean now. Okay, I got you. But and my number 1 is Vossen.
And the thing is, there's a comment that Doug Smith made, and I may have put the Veil in there just to be popular, but he's right. I think the Veil is one of the most overrated breweries in Scott's Edition. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed Vossen more, actually, so I probably should have swapped those out.
Yeah. I'm glad you didn't, because it's my number 1. Yeah, I had a mushroom quad. All right, and it was fantastic, and I've been to Richmond a few times. I've been to Vossen a few times. I've been the last time I was there with Matt, and I've had the mushroom quad a couple times. When I had it when Matt was there, for him to rave over and over again for weeks about this mushroom quad, it was good.
That's to rave about anything that's vaguely Belgian.
Or mushroom related.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, Boston's putting out some really good stuff. And the space is really cool, too.
Space is really cool.
In Scott's Edition. About 4 blocks away from the Veil.
Yep.
And about 6 blocks away from Strange Ways and about 4 blocks away from ZZQ. 5 blocks away from Arden. Yeah.
And then you got something Star. What's the, that's like.
Oh, yeah, what is that?
What's the name of that one?
Yeah, I didn't go, actually.
No, there was no reason to really, because I've had their beer. It's all right. Oh God, I can't remember the name of that brewery now. They're actually out by Star Hill. That's it, Star Hill. They're actually out by the Virginia, where Virginia Tech is, Lynchburg. They're out. All
right. Oh, Star Hill. Star Hill.
I just said Star Hill.
Oh, you did.
Were you not paying attention?
I was reading Doug Smith's comments.
Oh, okay.
You know who used to be a rep in New Jersey for Star Hill, and not a sales rep, an event rep, poured at events and did tastings and poured at events and everything else?
I think I know who you're talking about, but tell me.
Gene Lynch.
Really?
Yep.
Very nice. Mm-hmm. Did not know that.
Yes, he was. In any event, I'm going to catch up on about 13 Doug Smith comments here. He said, first, going back to the first one, he says, I'm plowing through the celebration. How long will the drippings be available? It's probably gone, I would say already, because they don't have that much of it. My guess is it's usually gone. From what I hear, it's usually gone less than a week.
Yeah.
And Don was there 2 weeks ago. It's gone already.
It's got to be gone.
It's gone already. Northern Virginia has better breweries than Richmond.
Name them.
Yeah, name them, please. Aslan's up there. That's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some really good liquid in Richmond. And I think look, I I do like Ardent. I do like Strange Ways. I do like a couple of beers that I've had from the Veil. I have others I've had where nothing wrong with them. They're good, but they're not as hyped as the rest of the beers at the Veil
I like the Veil stouts for the most part.
Stouts are fantastic.
Yeah.
But Triple Crossing, Aslan, Aslan's in North Virginia, but Triple Crossing, Rich Brow, and Vasson and Vasson's the only one that I listed in Scott's edition. Are brewing fantastic liquid, I think. And that's not to say that you're not right, Doug. Please tell me who they are because I want to go.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Exactly. And that's when he said the Veil is most overrated brewery in Virginia. We talked about that. Scott's Landing.
They're still good, but they are
Edition, correct. Scott's Edition, correct, John. There you go. Then he said Sweetwater Tavern is beer for beer. Is beer for beer the best in Virginia? Ocelot is fantastic. Commonwealth from Virginia Beach is great as well. Have you gone to Doug? Have you gone to the New Realm location?
Ocelot sounds familiar to me.
Ocelot? No, I've had Ocelot before. You've had Ocelot before, definitely.
I'm almost positive I've had Ocelot.
Have you gone to the New Realm location that Mitch opened up in Virginia Beach? I'm curious. And he said Star Hill is very good. Star Hill was always very good.
It's always very good.
I loved Star Hill 15 years ago. It's fantastic. When we were getting Star Hill in New Jersey, they pulled out probably at least 9 years now, 10 years that they're out of Jersey. I actually had a Star Hill night at 381 once, probably about 13 years ago, 14 years ago.
Oh, I had an Ocelot at Mekong.
There you go. But yeah, do tell us what the breweries are up in
Northern Virginia.
In Northern Virginia, because I need to get there. Absolutely. Cool. And all right, Don. No, he doesn't have his. Sorry. He says, I have John Flitt on.
Not sure what that means.
I have. Oh, he has. So he's answering a question. He mentioned.
I have, John
Flitt. Okay. But he's mentioning me. Yeah,
because I have John Flitt.
Right, but I'm like, yeah. What question did I ask him that he has? I have. All right. Sorry. Oh, Port City. You're right. Port City's very good.
Yeah.
Oh, New Realm. Duh. I'm an idiot. That's what I asked him then.
That's what. Okay.
That's what yes. What did you think?
I thought he had Flitt. I thought he had you.
It's like I'm not here. I'm there. He has me. No,
he has you.
No, that's what he was referring to my question with New Realm. And what did you think of New Realm? And you're right, 100%. Port City. I've been to New Realm. That's what he said. Absolutely. What did you think of it? And you're right. Port City's fantastic. I do love Port City. 100%. That's a really good beer.
I'm not sure if I've had any of them.
Yeah, their beer is very good. So anyway, all right. So we got a lot of decent shows. By the way, if anybody's counting, I'm halfway through my second 12-pack of Celebration.
Halfway through so you've had 18 of them.
Well, I didn't drink all of them though. I have to.
Okay.
Disclaimer.
How many did you have on Thanksgiving?
I had. Well, let's put it this way. I had one yesterday. I had two on Sunday during football. I didn't have any on Saturday because we were out. I did some stuff and we were out. I had one on Friday, so that's 4. And I'm legitimately 18 beers in, so that's 4. That leaves 14, and 4 of them were not drank by me on Thanksgiving.
So you had 10 on Thanksgiving.
So I had 10 on 5 of them were not drank by me.
So 9 on Thanksgiving.
9. I had 9 on Thanksgiving.
We're both breaking rules here by doing math.
I know. I had 9 on Thanksgiving. I had 9 of them on Thanksgiving.
Okay.
It might have been 8 on Thanksgiving and 2 on Friday. I can't quite remember, but
if you keep talking.
That makes sense.
I've got to open my bourbon cream.
That makes sense. No, don't do that. We got cocktail show tomorrow. So.
No, just bourbon cream. I love my bourbon cream.
There you go. Anyway, all right, we got a lot of good shows coming up.
Oh, but tomorrow. Tomorrow, if you want to see some of the greatest cocktails that the 3 of us on Anna Chaser have ever created, tomorrow's the day.
Yeah. They're all holiday inspired cocktails.
And we're each doing two
cocktails. And we haven't decided yet whether we're actually going to pair a beer or not. Because we're doing 2 cocktails.
Well, because
usually
I got to go into work the day after. I'd rather not pair a beer at all.
But
if we're going to, I'd only rather do one.
Well, yeah, I would. Well, I have one that I can pair with both cocktails, but I don't know how good it's going to go with either. So I would be fine not pairing the beer.
Okay, we got to talk Tom into not doing a pairing. He didn't come back on it, so we'll see.
He didn't answer. Went back and forth with that thing, but didn't answer. We'll get to it afterwards. But Doug just said, "Have you guys been to Sweetwater Tavern? 3 locations, multiple GBF medals since '96." I have not. I have not been to Sweetwater Tavern.
I don't spend a lot of time in Virginia.
I don't either, but I've been there a bunch.
I drive through.
I stop when I drive through, but I stop when I drive through.
Oh yeah, same. Richmond spent the night.
I stop
because if you're gonna do Scott's Edition, you spend the goddamn night.
Exactly. So anyway, I'll definitely have to put Sweetwater Tavern. I want to get to Port City. I do. I want to definitely get there, and I do want to get down to New Realm down in Virginia Beach. My daughter and son-in-law have been to New Realm. I know Mitch Steele, and I haven't been down there yet. And I want to get down there, so. I do want to make a trip.
I'm friends with him on Facebook, actually.
Are you? So I told you that story, right? I can't say his name again, but we were doing we're at the Steal This Beer podcast in Barcade in Jersey City. This is going back.
I remember that. Yeah.
6 years, 7 years, something like that. And we were there, and Mitch was on the show with Mr. Carton and John. And afterwards, we're hanging out, had a bunch of beers, and I'm leaving. And I call Jess, and I tell her that, hey, I'm leaving now. You need me to stop for anything on the way home? I got to drive all the way back down to Belmar. It's going to take me an hour to get home, but if you need me to stop for anything, it's like 7:30. And I hang up with her, and I almost said his name. Mr. Carton said that he that he said, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, I just texted Jess. Call Jess. I'm going home. He says, "No, you're not." And I look at Mitch, and Mitch pulls out from behind his back a 5 or 6 or 7 year old bottle of Woot Stout, because Mitch used to brew at Stone, right. So he brewed the Woot Stout. So I'm like, I called Jess back. I was like, disregard what I said a minute ago. I'll call you when I actually am leaving. So. He said, Mitch Steele is a fantastic brewer. New Realm is so worth the visit. You'll love it. Absolutely. You have to get down there. Definitely get down there. Okay. On that note, with don't forget the shows we have coming up. On that note, that we will wrap the show.
Yeah. So what's coming? So we got Trevor from
next week. We have Coven Brewing from Pittsburgh. The week after we have Marty Nakel.
Yes.
The beer judge extraordinaire, writer, and director of Legend, and director of the brand new American Craft Beer Hall of Fame.
We got a lot to talk about. It was on Rod's show actually a couple weeks ago, and then after that we have Tony Drury and your brother on our annual Christmas week show. And my brother just celebrated 25 years of Merrill Lynch, so we've got this corporate stooge. And my brother, no, I'm sorry. That's corporate stooge and a firefighter from Toowoomba.
Yeah, we've got 2 opposite ends of the spectrum,
pretty much
on the show on Christmas.
This is gonna be a fun show.
And then the week after, and that show's a Monday because Tuesdays that week and the next week
are Eves,
Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So, and the following week, the Monday is our big beer show, our annual big beer show with Matt and Al Gattulo. So it's going to be.
We're gonna finally get Gattulo drunk on a show.
Well, I think that might actually happen. We came close last year, but I think we might actually do it this year.
Well, because he usually begs off because he usually has to work the next day, but he's not gonna be working New Year's Eve.
He's not gonna be working on New Year's Eve. So there.
So we can get him tanked.
I think that'll work.
Yeah,
that'll work. All right. On that note, we will wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our
Me?
website. Thank you. Yes, you. Don't forget to visit our website.
Or the people out there.
Everybody. Thank everybody for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lageroom.com. That's LAGEROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, TuneIn Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes. Pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast, you will find the Lager Room Guys Craft Beer Podcast.
That was actually kind of impressive, the speed you did that.
Thank you. I used to do disclaimers for radio commercials without having to edit it and time compress it. I just did them straight on.
Did you ever do auctions?
That I never did. I never did. Yeah. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Continue to have a wonderful holiday season. All right.
Because we are in the holiday season.
Because we are in the middle of the holiday season. See, it's the holiday season. It says it right there in my.
It's the holiday season.
The holiday season.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da.
And Hickory Dock. Don't forget to hang up
That-
your sock.
Okay.
Sock, yes, sock.
Okay. There's a Valby version that's a little different.
I know. I'm aware. There you go. Anyway, have a wonderful week, a better weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you next week, folks. And don't forget, tomorrow night, and a Chaser on Facebook, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Maybe even a little earlier tomorrow night, since we have 2 cocktails to get through. So maybe we'll do 6.
I have no problem going a little earlier.
Yeah, so maybe we'll do 6-ish. But pay attention to it, and we will talk to you then, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Cheers.